Well, it looks like we're already back in mhur. Not fully technically, but anyways, welcome back guys, it is me, Taz, and we are gonna talk about some mhur content and some future quirk sets that should be coming to the game. When I release this video, you're probably gonna see other content creators making the exact same video or something very similar. But honestly, I'm actually quite surprised that no one has really made a video like this since the game of Uz Justice's release. But for when it comes to mhur, if you are an OG player or if you've been around for a really long time, then you're gonna understand what this video is. If you are a new player, you might understand a little bit less of what we're talking about here, so I'm gonna break it down quickly. Again, if you know what I'm talking about, then just skip like 30 seconds. But for mhur, when it was first released, we had a bunch of leaks and all of the animations. We could view all of the animations, we could view even the facial animations, and this gave a lot away for the future characters of the game. I can say that some characters, for example, I believe it was Arthur's Alpha, the animation did get changed, but for every single character up from season 3 to season 10, I believe it was Monoma, that they like changed a lot. And that was the point where we really couldn't like guarantee that the animations and the leaks that we had for these characters were 100% true, and we never knew why that they stopped using these animations. The animations, by the way, were from the game One's Justice 2, and I believe it was around season 12 or 11, correct me if I'm wrong, Doc, if you're watching this, bro, because you will know. Around season 11 or 12 or whenever it was, they took out a bunch of characters, including like Tokiyami, Jiro, Stain, and you know, a bunch more. And we're gonna use Tokiyami as an example because I know most about him when it comes to mhur and you know what they did with him. Before he was released, he had different animations. If they didn't change it, he would have been able to pick up his teammates and heal or something like that. It was something along the lines of being able to pick up your teammates. But the main thing here that I'm looking at is that they took out all of the animations and then they added him back in with a bunch of new stuff. One main thing being the special action and how Dark Shadow now wraps around Tokiyami. And if any of you guys are wondering where that came from, like where was that built, that was in Uz Justice, that is Tokiyami's moveset. So to me, from the outside, it looks like they realized, you know, things can line up here with Uz Justice. In the past, they would port the OJ2 animations, and I'm pretty sure that they were planning to port the AJ animations for the newer released characters. Star and Stripes is also a great example as well. She was all of the data was in the game, and then it all got taken out. Why did it all get taken out before like probably next season when she will be released? It got taken out a season before, again kind of similar to Tokiyami, but you would know that Star and Stripes was never a leak for mhur, so this is actually a tiny bit different because the files that were originally added in were not from OJ2 or anywhere else. They were unique, custom, like first time made. So again, why were they taken out if they were like a first time file? You know, there's not a port from another game. What I personally think is, I did do a bit of research about this, by the way, and mhur's engine is Unreal Engine 4.27 and Uz Justice's engine is 5.4, and if you're a modder, you would know that the files that mhur uses are UA asset files, and so does Uz Justice. They use UA asset files too, but Uz Justice's Unreal Engine being 5.4, those UA asset files aren't backwards compatible, so they can't just be sent into mhur and it works. It does work the other way around. You can use 5.4 UA asset files inside of a game that uses Unreal Engine 4.27. So when it comes to those, you know, Star and Stripe files, I think maybe the developers were just kind of testing them in mhur's engine, see how they look and see how they play, and then I guess see if they look good for an arena fighter, even though they're probably going to be used in mhur. So with all of that being said, I can't lie, you know, that explanation was supposed to be like a minute, and then we was going to go into some like abilities from AJ that I think that they're 100% gonna use for some quirk sets in mhur. But yeah, that just took 4 minutes, bro. Holy. Probably for my next video, I'm gonna break down Miracle's abilities from AJ and try and see which ones will be used inside of mhur. But let's go over some random ones real quick. We've got Twice's rising animation in AJ, which I personally think is gonna be used for his quirk set. As we can see here, he's literally throwing out a bunch of his clones, bro. Like that is literally quirk set perfection, especially for MHR as well, because many people have been asking for some sort of like death parade or a bunch of twice clones, more than one twice clone on his quirk set. So I think this is going to be good. I don't want to give away too much, bro, because for the next video we're going to get a lot more in detail. But one more I guess we could quickly talk about is obviously Jiro. She was added back into the MHR files this season 2, by the way. But we got some animations here which actually looks quite similar to some mods made by the community. Jiro mods have been made over and over and over again, so I'm sorry if you don't know which one I'm referencing, but I ain't gonna say. And that does pretty much wrap up the video. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it to the end, I know around like 3 or 4 weeks ago I told you guys I had a theory to MHR and the new My Hero Academia game being All's Justice, and we're finally here to break it down, bro. So yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a good rest of the day wherever you are. It's been Taz, and I'll catch you all later. Goodbye.